Riverside.
Powered by Riverside FM.
What I'm trying to say is that if I can change,
Я думаю, что каждый тоже изменился
and
сегодня.
you can change,
Вы можете измениться.
everybody can change.
Каждый может измениться.
You're listening to WildFireRadio.com presents the Jerry Torres program. No bad news, no sad news, no politics, no religion, just happy fun stuff. And now, here's your host, Jerry Torres.
Five-time Emmy Award-winning anchor Ron Burgundy and Tits McGee.
Now go do that voodoo that you do so well.
Yeah!
All rise.
Yeah! Yeah! Why?
He shoots, he scores!
Yeah!
Must be strong like bull.
Welcome, one and all, to another episode of the Jerry Torres program. I'm doing one that's earlier, getting out of the way. So that way, because I am going out tonight, I have a lovely dinner date. So I am definitely going to do the solid hour and then just, relax the rest of the day. But yeah. So I figured, you know what? Let me get on now. Because what I did this early, I went to the gym. After the gym, I went very light grocery shopping. I had to buy some bathroom cleaning stuff. I had to buy drinks, and then I had to buy a fruit. And then after that, I said, you know what? I'm good. So then after that, I came home. Then I have my nice clothes on. Now the temperature right now is 51. It's like this wind. It's like it's effing cold. Not cold, So then after that, I said, you know what? Let me change my clothes and let me cut a rest of this bush branch that's next to my mailbox, right? But before I did that, I had to call the cable company to reset my password, and then so I can install the Ring camera. The Ring camera is now finally up. I was like, goody gumdrops. I got that crap. And then all of a sudden, after the Ring camera, I said, now I'm going to go downstairs, get the the chainsaw, and then the chainsaw to cut the rest of the branches that I had there. And then after that, I was like, wait a minute. I cut what was left. Holy crap. What the hell? I thought I had it. Son of a bitch. I had the chainsaw sound. Hello. Yeah, okay. Let me see if I got it on here. Chainsaw. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, so what the hell? That was it? Anyway, so I managed to cut the rest of the branches off until the battery went dead. And then I said, you know what? I'm good. Cut what I needed to cut. I'm going to cut more when the weather gets nice. My car is still dirty as hell. It is starting to get dirty. The tires are now gray, and the tires and the rims and the tires are gray. Oh my God, I was thirsty. So then after that, I was like, oh God. Cut the rest of the branches, took them out in the front yard, came back inside. I said, okay, the floor looks good. Everything looks vacuumed. I folded the dried clothes. I put those away. Now I'm like, I bought flowers for my lady friend. And then I just said, okay, so now for the next couple hours, I am going to relax, do my podcast, get it out of the way. And then tomorrow, another busy schedule. And that is to just go to the gym, go grocery shopping, come home, and relax the rest of the 2 days that I have off, Friday and Saturday. And I don't have to worry about anything, man. Because Saturday is going to be one sucky ass day. God damn it, man. Can't get a break. Okay, let's check the weather real quick. I was checking something out about the surviving cast members of the original Mission Impossible. You know what? I got to email this because if I go back, it's going to be gone forever. All right, so here we go. I'm emailing it to myself so that way I can read up on it. Because of the new Tom Cruise movie coming out, which I'm going to go see. I saw all his movies. I saw all of them. I love them all. They were all great. All right, so here we go. Weather for the next 10 days. So I'm checking the weather. Here we go. Tonight will be 41. All right. Well, I'll be dressed nice and warmy poo tonight, excuse me. So tomorrow is going to start raining from 7 all the way to 8. FFF. Saturday, rain. But next Thursday will be 57. That's good enough weather to fix the yard. Friday and Saturday, rain. Good God, man. Can we get an effing break? You know, it's bad enough that, you know, you want a nice day, nice weather. You know, son of a bitch. Anyway, so I'm doing my best just to get things done when I can't get done when the weather's nice. See, when I'm working, it doesn't rain. It's not cold. But on my day off, oh my God, it's a downpour. Sheesh. Ugh, Jesus, man. This weather is like April sucks. April sucks. So now I'm trying to so right now I'm reading this that Saturday Night Live UK officially happened. The series is set to premiere in 2026. Live from where? Apparently the next iteration of Not Ready for Primetime players are going to be in London time. A UK version of Saturday Night Live, which was first announced in development way back in 2021, has confirmed that the premiere in 2026. According to a press release from the British broadcaster Sky, Saturday Night Live UK will follow the same live, fast-paced style and has made the show a cultural phenomenon with iconic hosts, musical guests, and a core of the funniest British comedians around. We mean you know how Saturday Night Live works, right? So, all right, you know, why not have a Saturday Night Live UK version? I'm down for that. Why not? You know? Well, yeah, go for it. You know, I'm down with that. I'm reading what's going on right now in the world because I have not written no ideas, nothing that happened. I pretty much wrote, you know, what I would love to talk about, right? But now I'm like, you know what? And I might as well just wing it because I just want to get this hour done. And then after that, you know, splash some water on my face, get my clothes ready for tonight. And then after that, just go out and about and have a wonderful evening, right? There's a movie I really want to see. It's called Warfare. I've been hearing great reviews about it. As a matter of fact, let me go on Rotten Tomatoes and check it out. They say it's one of the most realistic war films ever made. So let me go a little check it poo. Let me see. God damn it. See, I knew they wouldn't have it on here. Oh my God. Warfare. There you go. Warfare. All right, let me see. Warfare. Boom. Okay, so here we go. It is at 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. Wow. An hour and 35 minutes long. Okay, the movie is written and directed by Iraq War veteran Ray Mendoza and Alex Garden. Civil War 28 days later. Warfare embeds audiences with a platoon of American Navy SEALs on a surveillance mission gone wrong in insurgent territory. A visceral, boots on the ground story of modern warfare and brotherhood, told like never before in real time and based on the memory of the people who lived it. Oh, wow. I love these type of movies that keep it real, especially when it comes to warfare. Like I saw the movie We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson. It was very well done on how the first actual soldiers were there in the start of the Vietnam War. Now here's the thing. Why wasn't they attacked the French? How come the French didn't get involved? You know? It's a complicated, diplomatic warfare story, but I mean, due to the movie We Were Soldiers was very well done. I liked it, when it comes on, I watch it. Yeah, but yeah, it is what it is. But I mean, all in all, this movie Warfare, 92% of Rotten Tomatoes. Why not? Why not? All right, so now I'm just browsing through the internet. Oh, yeah, I already know about the wolves that are cloned. Right now, they're cloning the saber tooth, and they're cloning the what the hell, the woolly mammoth. They're bringing those back. Yay! So now Jurassic Park is really happening. Yeah. So be prepared to be eaten alive. All right. All right. So let's see here. Bloodsport remake and hoping to revive Jean-Claude Van Damme's classic. Okay, now they're doing remakes. All right. All right. So now I'm just browsing up and down, see what they got, so I can continue my full solid hour. All right. Matt Bomer reflects on losing Lyndon Lavin, making mid-century modern. Nah. Let me continue up. New requirement airline. Nah. All right. So this one I might see. It's on National Geographic. It starts on Friday. The Titanic, the digital reconstruction. Resurrection, the digital resurrection. This is interesting because now that the Titanic is slowly dissolving, all right, it's in time. They said probably within 15 to 20 years, or maybe up to 100 years, it'll just be sand, like dust, like everything will collapse, everything will dissolve. Now they say that won't happen within another 100 years, right? But for right now, it is slowly but surely collapsing because of the time being underwater, the cold, the elements in the water, the how it's becoming rust and dust, and it's like time it's taking its toll, and soon Titanic will be no more. It'll just be dust. You know what I mean? Just part of the sand. I don't know, man. Listen, you can't pay me enough to go down there and see it. I mean, listen, send a camera down there, and then I can see it on the ship on my tablet. You know what I mean? And that way I could tell everybody, yeah, I saw the Titanic in my room, where it was safe, where I could breathe oxygen. But yeah. Yeah, you know what though? It's kind of interesting because now that modern technology is more advanced, now we can basically see the Titanic, how it looks like now and how it looked like 40 or 50 years ago. Um, it's slowly collapsing. Every day a piece of the ship would fall or dissolve, or it just becomes like dust, like like the ocean current in that area where it's in can just take it away. And now they don't know if it's going to collapse today or tomorrow. It's just time now. But a lot of experts say within like 50 to 100 years from now, Titanic will be just dust. Like poof, paf, poof. Do I have a poof sound like that? Here we go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like a big puff sound. There we go. See, like that. There you go. Something like that. Ah, my God. You know what? I might get on TikTok live just to say hi to everybody. All right. So here we go. All right. Shut up. May God bless them. All right, hold on. I'll get on there 15 seconds. Here we go. All right. I need light. Holy crap. Where the hell is the light? There we go. Oh, good God, man. Am I still on here? Yes, I am. All right. So I'm going to say something. All right, here we go. Hey, I'm going to be on live for a little bit. So if y'all like to join me, please do say hey there, hi there, ho there, send your likes and stuff. So I'm going to be on for a short little while. But yeah, it's the Jerry Torres program. We'll be on live. Join me. All right, there we go. So post that up. And there we go. I'm going to click on Live Poo live. Bam. Now. Bam. All right. Boom. Damn. Bip. All right. There we go. And then I'm going on live. Here we go, just to say hello there, hang out for a little while, and say hello and hi to everybody out there. All right. So anyway, so yes. So right now, the Titanic is pretty much at its state of not collapse, but it's still intact. It's still there. And I cannot believe people are still going down there to see that. Sheesh. Talk about people with balls, all right? You can't pay me enough money to go down there and see it ever since what happened. And I know people are going to say, oh, yeah, but the guy was cheap. He was cutting corners, blah, 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 Unless it's one of those French mini subs that I've seen before that can withstand like quarter metric tons of pressure. Yeah, I'll be able to go down, and see the Titanic. Am I on? Yeah, okay. I have a neck, thank God. Okay. I was wondering because I'm on a diet and I'm very strict on it, and I'm like, damn it, man, I gotta be good. Oh my Lord. Man, oh man, oh man. If no one pops up by the time I hit 1,000 likes, I'm not gonna get on it anymore. Because I'm just on here for a little teeny tiny while just to say hello to everybody. You know what? One day I might get on TikTok live, right? One day, right? And tap in as many likes as I can until I get like 1 million. And then after that, I'll get off. You know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean? I don't play to see how many people like me and stuff like that. Even though right now TikTok has another 75 days. Listen, I know that the TikTok people are watching this right now. They monitor things. That's good. That's a good thing that they do that, But I think like they should sell it to me for $1 and I own it. There you go. $1. Uno peso, por favor. Sell me it for $1, TikTok for $1, and I'm telling you right now, I'll still keep it the same. Have the beautiful Chinese people monitor it 24/7, and they say, Jerry, what do you think of this? It's good. Let it there. And listen up on the rules a bit. But of course, I'll keep the strict ones there. Never take them down. But anyway, yeah. So right now I'm near 500 likes. Okay, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep doing this. Because right now I just want to go back what I really wanted to talk about. I mean, like all these good movies that are coming out. Like right now, they're in the 2 Predator movies, animated versions. They're making these animated versions dark, which I'm glad they are. The first one's going to be in the Viking era. I was like, all right, that's good. And then the second one will be during feudal Japan, during the days of when the Japanese clans had like civil wars against each other. I was like, oh wow, yeah, definitely do that, So I hope they do them and do them right, and do them dark and not overly exaggerate, even though I know it's going to be a cartoon, but just make it realistic, you know what I mean? Where that way you can say, wow, okay, just like they did it in the movies. So I'm real excited for that the 2 Predator movies are coming out. Warfare is coming out in movie theaters. I guess I'll wait till it comes out on streaming services. I'm still waiting when the time and date when Captain America, that Captain America movie, what the hell is it called? When he fought the Red Hulk, is going to be on streaming services. I haven't had a chance to see the new episode of Daredevil Born Again. You know what? I will. As soon as I post this video up, I'm going to watch Daredevil Born Again because I've been hearing great reviews on it. Massive great reviews on it. How many do I like? Oh, yes, there we go. Perfect. So, yeah, man, it's great to see like all of these Marvel's pretty much doing something and doing something right, Oh my God. I'm just want to get things done ahead of time so that we come tomorrow, I could just rest. You know what I mean? It's going to be a sucky weekend. All right. It is going to be one horrible, pathetic, sucky, rainy weekend. I cannot wait for the weather to get nice I cannot wait for the weather to be nice and hot. Hello, Morgan. Morgs, how you doing? Let me see. Morgs, how you doing, Morgs? And she came and she left. Okay. Okay. Why you asked me to invite you when you just leave? I don't get that. Well, the Flyers won yesterday, 7-4. They, the Jersey Devils play tonight. They have to win. The Rangers clinched a playoff spot. When I get off of this, I am going to find out what the hell's going on with the Flyers, man. Because right now I'm just on here saying hello to everybody. Hey, everybody on TikTok world, how y'all doing? I know. Listen, I have a coworker, real quick, that I like and I respect immensely, and I will not say his name, but he's so into politics. He's so into what's going on right now with the tariffs and Adolf Trump and all this stuff. Now, mind you, again, as I always say in the intro, there's no bad news, no sad news, no politics, no religion. All right. I don't talk about that. I stay away from that because, it's a never ending argument when it comes to that, and I respect those that really are into political conversation, but I am not into that because I don't vote and I hate politics. Those that are, again, more power to you. I do not talk about politics, but my coworker, off and on during lunch, he tells me what's going on. And out of respect, I listen to him. I try to give him my little points of views here and there, but I don't go too far with it. I stay away from politics stuff. Hey Dawn, how you doing? Excuse me, I just burped. And but he was telling me about the tariffs and the stock market and all this stuff. The only thing I say is this, all right? So far, he's ruining this country financially. America has spent money for years on so much stuff, and that's all America is good for. We spend money. For years, we have been borrowing money from Central America, South America, Europe, Canada, we owe debts, we have loans, and what do we repay them back with? Weapons. I mean, some technology, you know what I mean, and like minerals and oil. So here you go. This will. How much we owe you? 15 trillion. How about if we give you guys some gold and oil? Huh? What do you say to that? All right, we'll take it. We'll knock off $9 trillion. Cool. Thank you. So that way, United States is still peaceful with other nations, And right now he's saying, I'm going to put taxes on this, I'm going to put tariffs on that. It's pretty much not working, And listen, the Chinese people, the people of China, all right, how I love them. I love Asian culture. I keep telling this to people. I love Asian culture so much, from the food to the people to the literature to the women. You know what I mean? But to the sights and the scenes, I would love to go to China. I would love to go to Japan. And see the beauty of those nations. If I was president of the United States, I would negotiate a mega deal and say, listen, let's do this to help each other out financially, so that way all our countries won't go broke. The peaceful way for me in Russia, I would say to Russia, listen, what do you guys want? All right, let's sit down and talk this over and we'll make a deal. All right. What do you want? What do you want? You want Alaska back? You got it for a price. You know what I mean? To me personally, I just don't and will not get into it. I can't. It's relentless. It's hopeless. It's not going to make anyone happy. It's pretty much making everyone miserable, And for those people that are like that voted for the man, now regretting it because some of them lost their jobs. Some of them now that lost their jobs in these tariffs, they might not have the money to pay for food to put on the table. And now they regret. everybody's regretting now. For those people that are, Adolf Trump's going to help us. Adolf Trump's going to do this, and he's going to help us. And all of a sudden, it's like, yo, whoa. What the hell did you guys what did he do? I lost my job because of this guy, you know? As a matter of fact, let me get on YouTube right now. And there's a joke from George Carlin that is so exact of what he talks about politics and why the man was an atheist. He hated politics. Let me see here. Okay, I think something happened here. Hold on. Ah, damn it. I knew it. I knew this was going to happen. All right, give me un momento, por favor. All right, so let me get on here. Bing a bam boom there. Pop up there. There we go. I forgot. I just posted up a new password for my internet, and I completely forgot that I did it to my soundboard. I mean, I reconnected my tablet, my laptop, my beautiful mega laptop. So right now I got to get on here, bing a bam boom there, because I really want to play that video of how George Carlin, the great George Carlin, talked about politics and how he hated it with a passion. All right, so let me find, if I can find it here. Here we go. Nope, that's not. There we go. All right. Yeah. So if anybody's out there listening, go ahead, tap in, like, say hello, hi there, hey there, who there, 2,000 likes, that is not bad. Okay, so here we go. Let me see here. Okay. All right, so let me see. Bing, bam, boom. All right. It's not connected. I know it's not connected. All right. So let me see here. All right. So let me get on there. Let me get on here. All right. Aha. Aha. All right. So let me kill. All right. Give me uno momento, por favor. All right. So now I'm talking out loud so that way people can hear me. And hopefully if I can find it there. Bammo. Yeah, I got it. Okay. So now I click on here. Slap her hard. Bam! I got it. Damn, I'm good. Ow! All right. Okay, so now that's kind of dirty talk, you know what I mean? All right. Yeah, that's how I treat my ladies, man. You understand? All right. So now the great George Carlin. All right, George Carlin. Oh, no. God damn it. All right, here we go. Oh, my Lord. G-O-R-G-E. George Carlin. Politics. Oh, my God. Okay, George Carlin on voting. There we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I got it up. Okay. Oh. All right, so here we go. This is one of his best routines. Okay, how long is this one? All right, that's 8 minutes long. Okay, why I don't vote. All right, here we go. I'll get for the 3-minute version. Here we go. It is so true what he talks about. All right, here we go.
One thing you might have noticed I don't complain about. Politicians. Everybody complains about politicians. Everybody says they suck. Yeah! Well, where do people think these politicians come from? They don't fall out of the sky. They don't pass through a membrane from another reality. They come from American parents and American families, American homes, American schools, American churches, American businesses, and American universities, and they're elected by American citizens. This is the best we can do, folks. This is what we have to offer. It's what our system produces. Garbage in, garbage out. If you have selfish, ignorant citizens, you're going to get selfish, ignorant leaders. And term limits ain't going to do you any good. You're just going to wind up with a brand new bunch of selfish, ignorant Americans. So maybe it's not the politicians who suck. Maybe something else sucks around here. Like the public. Yeah, the public sucks. There's a nice campaign slogan for somebody. The public sucks. Fuck hope. Fuck hope. Because if it's really just the fault of these politicians, then where are all the other bright people of conscience? Where are all the bright, honest, intelligent Americans ready to step in and save the nation and lead the way? We don't have people like that in this country. Everybody's at the mall, scratching his ass, picking his nose, taking his credit card out of his fanny pack and buying a pair of sneakers with lights in them. So I have solved this little political dilemma for myself in a very simple way. On election day, I stay home. I don't vote. Fuck them. Fuck them. I don't vote. Two reasons I don't vote. First of all, it's meaningless. This country was bought and sold and paid for a long time ago. The shit they shuffle around every 4 years doesn't mean a fucking thing. And secondly, I don't vote because I believe if you vote, you have no right to complain. People like to twist that around. I know. They say, well, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain. But where's the logic in that? If you vote and you elect dishonest, incompetent people, and they get into office and screw everything up, well, you are responsible for what they have done. You caused the problem. You voted them in. You have no right to complain. I, on the other hand, who did not vote, who, in fact, did not even leave the house on election day, am in no way responsible for what these people have done and have every right to complain as loud as I want about the mess you created that I had nothing to do with. So I know that a little later on this year, you're going to have another one of those really swell presidential elections that you like so much. You'll enjoy yourselves. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure as soon as the election is over, your country will improve immediately. As for me, I'll be home on that day doing essentially the same thing as you. The only difference is when I get finished masturbating, I'm going to have a little something to show for it, folks. Thank you very much.
Yep. The great George Carlin, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
The great George Carlin spoke the truth. That's why I don't vote, and I am not into politics because of that.
I've said this before. President Trump failed. I don't want him to run again. I do not want President Trump to run again.
All right, there we go. All right, let me get out of here before it pops up by accident. All right, there we go. So I'm back here. There we go. All right, and let me get back to this soundboard. All right, hold on. Let me get to my third one. I got like 4 soundboards here. What the hell? All right, where's the one that I like? There we go. All right, here we go. What the? No. Okay, damn it. What the hell was that? Yeah, let me get off TikTok Live. All right, guys, see you later. I'm out. There we go. Boom. Yeah. So, all right. Jeez, man. All right, let me get off this and get off that. All right. You see what I mean? He speaks the truth. It is the truth. And how politics is just ridiculous. How there's no resolution, no peace, no, how can I put it? No resolve in anything. Because right now, what he's doing financially, he's making it a business. That's what the hell he's doing to this country. He's making it a business by laying people off, firing people. And next thing you know, he's trying to cut deals and, negotiate deals and throw taxes here and there. He's making it a business and he's making a profit out of it. And the federal agents, can anybody stand up to this man? Number one, I've dealt with bosses like this in my past and I confronted them face to face. Just because you have power and a title does not mean I'm going to growl, get on my knees, and be in a fetal position. I almost fought bosses like this before in the past. I got them in their faces just to let them know they're people that don't fear because you have a title. There are people that are just sucking, kissing, licking, brown nosing, and have no spine at all because they can't stand up to a man that thinks because he has protection around him 24/7. It would be nice if there is someone in there can just punch him right in the face and the whole world can see him bleed. You know? Just one good solid punch in the face. Just knock him out. Then when he wakes up, he's still going to make excuses. He's still going to use his ego and his narcissism just to cover, I didn't get knocked out. No, I didn't. I slipped. And you say people will believe me. Anything I say, they will believe me. And it's like, oh my God. It's like the line that was true in 300. Even a God king can bleed. No, but you got these people working for him. They're so afraid to stand up for themselves. They think like he's a god. They think he's like invincible, invulnerable. If Thanos can go down, so can he. But there's nobody in that White House. They're all punks, all cowards. They all love to suck, kiss ass, brown nose, yes sir. He can walk on water. He can make the blind hear. Can't you see, people? He's a god. It's like, oh my God. All y'all are just pathetic morons. Oh, my Lord, man. I am just fed up. I am fed up with cowards. I am fed up with individuals that just cannot stand up for themselves. Like at my job is a great example. It is a great example. In the past, I had senior ops managers. I had one that was a douche. His name was Carlton. They fired him because he abused his authority. He was making women cry. He was lying. He was, not fulfilling his promises. He just wanted people out of the department so he could bring his dick sucking crew into the department that I was, the old department that I was in. And when the complaints were building up, he thought it was just nothing. His way was better. He was trying to run a department thoroughly, roughly, And next thing human resources heard the complaints. They got fed up, and they said they gave an ultimatum: either we can transfer you, or you can just, step down from me. We can strip away your title. So he became defiant, and he was like, "No, F you, know what I'm doing." And what happened next? AA fired his ass. And every time, I did it to two women that were there. They were both PAs. The first one walked like Big Bird. She was a bitch. She disrespected people, made fun of them, verbally assaulted, and it's like, whoa, when she did that to me, the first thing I was like, whoa, what are you doing? So I went to the VOA board. I did not, remain anonymous. I typed in, and what happened next? They gave her the ultimatum. We have to strip you away from your title. So you got a choice. Blah blah this, blah blah that. So they didn't fire her, but she quit. You know what I mean? It was because, oh my God, what happened? Did somebody tell you what to do? Did someone, strip away your power? Or that someone that had more authority than you didn't like it? So in order for you to remain and keep your self-respect is that you have to quit. And it's your only way to, because someone took away your dignity and pride and your title from your job that you didn't like it. And your next method, I'm going to quit. I'm going to find me another job. So I remember she's going around people. I found another job. I'm quitting. I found another job. It's like, no, because I wrote something on the board that you didn't. She avoided me. She didn't want to talk to me. And I personally do not give a fuck. If someone doesn't like me in my job, I don't care. I love it. Because that means I did something to them. I'm winning, She did not want to talk to me. She avoided me. She was like, every time I was in the area, she would grab her stuff and just leave. I'm like, fine, walk away, Big Bird. I don't give a fuck. What do you don't like about me? Because I wrote something on the board, because how you treated people, and then you treated me that way too? It doesn't work that way. Yeah, so she quit, and I was glad. That lets me know what type of person she is. She can't take the heat. She doesn't know what she did in the wrong. What's her next method? I'm going to quit. I'm out of here. The next person that was like that, there was another PA woman. She was this short, fat, wolf in sheep's clothing. She was all nicey, and then kind. Anybody have problems? And one day I'm in this department called Flats, and Flats there's no rate. You need your equipment, you need your supplies. Very long story short, she was like, Jerry, you haven't scanned anything for an hour. I told her, it's Flats. There's no rate system on here. And thank God, my boss at the time, Keith Robinson, he jumped in, he helped out. He told her, listen, there's no rate. And then the other two senior ops manager walked up to her and they were like, oh, yeah, there's no rate system here. Yeah, without their supplies, they don't get it. But still, she was so stubborn, ignorant, arrogant. She like her way had to be, we have to make people an example. So I almost got a write-up for it, but I didn't. So when I tried to tell her that, I looked at her face and said, oh, you don't understand my English. Let me go to my senior ops manager. He'll describe what we do here. And she didn't like it. She caught an attitude. So I went to the VOA board. I wrote about her attitude, her personality. And I was upfront and honest. You cannot embellish or lie on those things. They will know. And I did not remain anonymous on that one. I personally don't, because I want them to know who wrote it. You know what I mean? So next thing you know, 3 days later, what happened next? She was called to human resources and they told her about, what was going on. And they contacted one of the senior ops manager of the situation, what happened. And she was like determined to give Jerry a write-up, but that didn't happen. When she got so angry because she wanted to give me a write-up because I didn't make rate, and knowing when you're in Flats, you don't make rate. She was called to human resources, and then they, they pretty much, human resources does not mess around. So now they're going to remove her of her title and strip her down and move her to another department. She got livid. And she gave her a couple days to give her a response. And within those couple days, she did like she did with Big Bird. I'm quitting. I found another job. I was like, oh my God. I guess your ego and self-respect was more important than your job. No, your stupidity was more important. If you didn't act that way before, everybody, you still would have kept your job, still would have kept your title. Don't abuse your authority. Just because you're a boss or you have someone in higher rank doesn't mean you're gonna people going to cowl. People speak up, man. People speak up at my job. That's a good thing. I tell people, listen, this is Amazon warehouse, not Amazon State Prison. Speak up. You're not going to be called a snitch. If there's a boss or someone at the workplace that's bothering you, say something and watch it stop. I've seen it happen 1,000 times. No one's going to go around calling you a snitch, because they can get in trouble for that. You're pretty much saving your self-respect. You're saving your pressure coming into work and also yourselves, man, and others. Because no one wants to work in a toxic environment. Nobody, man. But that's what the whole Adolf Trump, organ thing is all toxic, dude. Everything has to be his way. Everything. He thinks he's running a country right. And he thinks that, he's not doing anything wrong. The truth is he's ruining it. And now he's breaking laws left and right. But here's the thing. When the day comes, he's not president anymore, or he really F's up and they really vote him out or they force him out. Let's see how he is when the actual cuffs are on him, when the charges are brought up against him. What the hell he's going to do now? And all those people that were sucking and kissing ass, when they get involved, when they start arresting them and getting subpoenas to go to court, where's your daddy? My daddy, Trump, will help me. I know he will. No, he won't. Trump only thinks for himself, not for you guys. Well, you realize that, It's no one does their history anymore. When the Nazis during World War II, they thought their Führer was going to rule the world and help the Germans and, a 1,000-year reign and everything, and kill everyone that's not German, blonde hair, blue eyes everywhere. Well, when they lost the war and the atrocities that they've done, what happened? They went on the run. You know what I mean? They grabbed everything they could and they just ran to Argentina, some of them to other parts of the world, and it's like they were on the run, scared. And when the ones that didn't get a chance to run and the Russians caught them, many of them were hung, many of them were executed, firing squad hung. Yeah. And deep down inside, they were like, oh well, guys, I was a soldier following orders. Yeah. Yeah. No, doesn't work on here. You got to be hung, dude. You know what I mean? Sorry, but I didn't do it. It was my Führer told me to do it. He's like, yeah, but he killed himself because he knew he was losing the war. You're gonna be on the run, these people, and they all think it's like, they're well protected. They got this shield, and then no one can harm them. Well, sorry, you can't get harmed, and sorry, you will go down. Everyone knows that through history. Everyone knows that through, from the Nazis to the communism to good Lord, what was that war called? The Bosnian War, all in the Iraq War, including like Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi. They thought they had this power, invincible, invulnerable. Even the movie 300 was a great example. They waited 12 years to grab a huge army to attack when they killed King Leonidas. The second 300 sucked. You got to see the documentary version of that one. But then what happened? They killed the general that started and the king and everything, and then the Spartans won. Took them 12 years for revenge. But it's to let everybody know. Don't fear someone with power. Stand up for yourself. Speak up. Say something. The emperor has no clothes, as the saying goes. I don't know, man. Just don't be a punk, man. Speak up. Speak the hell up. Say something. Stand your ground. Oh, my God, man. Anyway, so now I found something to talk about. Here we go. The 10 worst action movies of all time, according to Roger Ebert. Now, action movies of all time, taking audiences, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Mad Max, Fury Road, they weren't stupid. They were the best movies ever made, even The Matrix, Now, the worst action movies, however, focus on cheaply made thrills without substance, leaving audiences feeling empty when they exit the theater, okay? Now, Roger Ebert's least favorite action movies were the emptiest of the bunch, making him feel as though his and audience's time has been wasted, right? But here are the top 10 worst movies ever made, all right? And I'll have to agree with all of them because I just browsed through them and I saw them. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. Number 10, Charlie Angels is a bad adaptation of the TV classic. That I agree highly. Came out in the early 2000s, but when Mission Impossible films were coming out, raising eyebrows. They were thinking, oh, well, from the hit 70s show, it's with the same title, Charlie's Angels. Trio of women who work with crime fighters as a private investigator firm, as the typical story, right? So the first one was It now starred Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, and Lucy Liu, the three heroes. Now, their task is stopping a villain from using a powerful new voice recognition software to wreak havoc in the world, right? Though it was like a box office success, the movie received, it was hated by critics. Let's put it that way. Calling it a movie without a brain. Ouch. Oh my God. It received 7 out of 10 stars, PG-13. Running time is 98 minutes. I saw it. I didn't like it because there was no nudity. Moving on. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, number 9. The nadir of the action star's career. All right. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone dominated the action movie in the 80s and 90s. The box office press, becoming the most common legend. And Schwarzenegger and Stallone into a starring film said no, it was supposed to star those two, but they thought it was a bad idea at the time, you know. So the film Stop or Mama Shoot was this two-hatter between Stallone, Golden Girls icon Estelle Getty, you know, and the character attempts to go about his life as a police officer. Oh, damn it. And the film was universally hated with critics and, you know, utterly, it was even small redeeming value and screen stunned disbelief. It just sucked. It received 0 stars. All right. And it's on Prime Video, but I got a feeling Prime Video's like, okay, we made a mistake. We got to take this out. Yeah, so that was bad. Number 8, Ballistic, X versus Eckerd. X versus Sever has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is how bad this movie is. I am not going to talk about it. All right. I saw this movie one time and regretfully. I saw it on VHS and I destroyed the VHS tape. That's how bad this movie is. There is no action. There is no smart dialogue. It was the worst action movie ever made. It was a chaotic mess, overloaded with special effects that were horrible, explosions, you know, and it was just everything was so coherent and ridiculous. It was the worst action movie ever effing made. Now this says 5 out of 10 stars. No, it should deserve 0 stars. That's how bad it was. And it was 91 minutes. It should be just 1 minute because that way the rest of your minutes won't be regretting watching the whole damn movie. All right. Number 7, Resident Evil Apocalypse is a poor science fiction movie. I saw it. I didn't like it. Moving on. That's how bad it was. Yeah. You can see it on Apple TV, YouTube, or you can see it, then you'll regret seeing it. Number 6, The Exterminator is a brutal for no reason. These are the top 10 worst action movies ever made. It's like it was like a Chainsaw Massacre, The Exterminator. Let's put it like this. It was bad. Okay? And it exists primarily showing burning, shootings, gouging, grinding, and beheadings. It's 5 out of 10 stars, 98 minutes long. You can see this movie on Prime Video. Now, this movie I'm going to disagree on, but I liked it, but they said it was a real bad action movie. Number 5, The Green Berets, starring John Wayne. The propaganda disguised as a war film. All right. I liked the movie. It was good. It wasn't that bad. It's, you know, it was based on, it was like before Apocalypse Now and Full Metal Jacket. And The Green Berets, however, was made during the peak of the United States military involvement in the country. The film was pretty much a passion project of John Wayne. It was deeply troubled by the anti-war sentiment and progressive. And the Department of Defense, you know, serves as more pro-American propaganda than the proper action film. It was pretty much, it was cruel and dishonest and unworthy of the thousands who have died there. They try to make this like glorious, you know. But it was an okay film, you know, 7.7 stars, 142 minutes long. It was not that bad. Let's put it that way. Number 4, The Master Gunfighter was a bad remake of a Japanese film. Never saw this movie, and I don't want to talk about it if it's that bad. Came out in 1975. It was a remake of Hideo Gosha's Goyokin. Was written and directed by Tom Laughlin, playing a master swordsman and a gunfighter in the Old West. The film was met with less than tepid reviews from the 1970s. So basically, it was a remake. I'm going to see the original version, The Master Gunfighter, and you can't see it anywhere. Number 3, The Female Bunch is a bad exploitation film masquerading as a Western. Never saw this movie. Sweetback's badass song Shaft explodes, but the market was also flooded with a number of similar films that were deeply cheap and lurid versions of the better film. Wow, movie came out in 1971, The Female Bunch. I never heard of this movie. It's 86 minutes long. And there's no level at which The Female Bunch is good. Wow. All right. So I might not see that movie. All right. Number 2, Speed Zone ends with a trilogy with a sputter. Never saw this movie. You know, it's kind of like Smoking the Bandit and Hooper. Never saw Hooper. The Cannonball Run made nearly. Never saw this movie. The Speed Zone's the third and final entry of the Cannonball Run. Oh, okay. So basically, Cannonball and then Cannonball Run 2 and then Speed Zone, which basically the Speed Zone was horrible. It's PG. It stars the late, great John Candy, Donna Dixon as Tiffany, and there's no effing rating for it. Wow, that's how bad it is. Oh my God. There's no rate on it. It's 94 minutes long. Came out in 1989. I never heard of this movie. The number 1 worst film ever made. And I don't know. It's like I like or dislike. You know what I mean? But it's Death Wish 2 is the worst kind of a bad sequel. Yeah, for the time. Writing off as an era where many Americans believed that crime was on the rise of the government, was doing little combat violent crime, Michael Weiner's Death Wish was seen a kind of a wish fulfillment, a movie about a man who turns to vigilante violence after his wife and daughter were sexually assaulted. The film was a smash hit in the audiences in the mid-1970s, which it was. It was a classic. Almost a decade later, Weiner and star Charles Bronson teamed back up to start a series of sequels to the original film starring Death Wish 2, which Bronson's Paul Cursor must avenge the death of his daughter. The film was critically planned of being a cheap knockoff of an original. Roger Ebert especially hated the movie, calling it artistically inept and morally repugnant. Ouch. The first one was good. The second one was bad. Be that as it may, when it comes to these horrible films, thank God Rotten Tomatoes is out now, because that way you can tell, oh my God, it's 2%. I am not going to go see it. You know, and then you see it at home, and then you can just regret not paying $15 a ticket to see it out in the theaters. You pretty much saved your 2 hours of, life right there. But be that as it may, you be the judge, you be your own critic. If there's ever a movie you want to see and it turns out to be bad, just watch the percentage rate first, because that way you can just say, wow, I just saved my eyesight. All right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is about my time for the Jerry Torres program. As you all well know, I am an accomplished author. I have written a book entitled Chinese Food for Breakfast. You can find my book either on lulu.com, that is Lulu, or on Amazon Kindle. And the book is about fun, people, and it's an ebook. You can download the book, read the book anytime, anywhere on your phone, tablet, or your laptop. And the book is only $4, people, so you're not going to be breaking the bank. Also, back on the scene, Latisse Mitchell's podcast, Tice Talk, will be back up and running soon. You can listen to her previous podcast either on TikTok, Instagram, or on YouTube. And her podcast is hysterical. She's one of my comedic buddies, and she makes her comedy hysterical, especially on her podcast. She talks about life, what she sees, what her family goes through, and so on. But listen to Latisse Mitchell's Tice Talk.
It'll make your head spin.
Latisse Mitchell's Tice Talk.
In your face.
Tice Talk.
It'll knock your socks off.
Also, listen to Gordo B's new song, 20% of Happiness. You can find his music either on TikTok, Instagram, or on YouTube. It is brand new. It is good music. He is coming out with his up-and-coming new album. He's going to give it to me to promote it. He came out with a music video not too long ago. You can find Gordo B on Instagram, TikTok, or on YouTube. Listen to his new song, 20% of Happiness. To find Gordo B, his name is spelled Gordo, big letter B. Gordo B's new song, 20% of Happiness. And also listen to this band that I love, Funky Times. Funky Times, you can find them on TikTok, Instagram, or on YouTube. This band is great. They mix it up with jazz, funk, rock. They know how to make music and music right. If you're interested in them, hire them for your venue. check them out. Send them a message again on TikTok, Instagram, or on YouTube. They know how to make music and make music right. And speaking of funky times, I use their music to close my podcast. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1, and a 1, 2, 3. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to another edition episode of the Jerry Torres program. As I always say towards the end of my podcast, whatever religious figure you believe in, may you be blessed. I bid you a fondue. I'll be back. So I ask you all, please don't go changing. I'm gone, get gone, and bye.
Powered by Riverside.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Limited time offer. No purchase necessary. Offer valid at participating locations. Void where prohibited. No animals were harmed during the production of this soundboard. Subject to change without notice. Side effects include dry mouth, occasional pig snort or two, sore stomach, teary eyes, achy jaws, and whatever tingles well. Laughing heart.
You just heard the Jerry Torres program on Spotify and on Riverside FM. Plus, listen to him on other podcast affiliates. Subscribe to his podcast show on Spotify. Download all his episodes, listen, and enjoy.